Long ago, a narrow railway line wound its way through thick forests and over lonely ridges, connecting a small, isolated town to faraway places. It was the only link to the outside world, carrying sacks of letters, crates of food, barrels of supplies, and the quiet dreams of travelers who believed their journey would lead them to a better life. The train came and went like a heartbeat, bringing life to the town, until one winter night when the heartbeat stopped forever. The snow had begun early that day, falling in soft, harmless flakes that dusted the rooftops and coated the tracks in white. By evening, the wind picked up, sharp and restless, pushing clouds across the moon. That night, a train left the station loaded with mail, goods, and a dozen passengers bundled against the cold. The storm thickened, wrapping the forest in swirling white. The whistle of the locomotive echoed faintly, a lonely sound swallowed by the storm. Somewhere high on the ridge, the ground beneath the frozen rails gave way. With a terrible crash, the train plunged into a hidden ravine, swallowed by snow and darkness. The next morning, when the skies cleared, rescuers searched the mountainside. They found no wreckage, no twisted steel, no splintered wood. The snow had buried everything as if the train had never existed at all. Days turned into weeks and the missing were mourned, but the mystery remained. The railway company abandoned the route, the tracks slowly rotting under creeping weeds. Years passed. The little town faded, its streets growing quiet, its houses standing empty. But those who remained began to speak of strange things. They said that once a year, on the same night the train disappeared, something stirred in the hills. It began with a faint, faraway whistle, so soft you might think it was the wind. Then came the sound of wheels rattling on iron rails that no longer existed, a deep, echoing rhythm that seemed to come closer and closer. Through the mist, an old steam train would emerge, its shape half hidden in moonlight and shadow. The front lamp glowed a dim, unnatural yellow, casting its beam across invisible tracks. Steam curled into the cold air, but the smoke smelled not of coal but of something metallic, almost like blood. In the windows of the carriages, pale faces watched without blinking, frozen in expressions of sorrow, confusion, or fear. Some swore they recognized those faces, relatives, friends, and neighbors who had vanished on that stormy night so many years ago. Those who dared to remain close to the apparition told of a strange sensation, a quiet but irresistible pull, as though something inside the train was calling them. The doors would slide open, and warm light would spill onto the cold ground, tempting them forward. Anyone who stepped inside was never seen again. The train would vanish into the mist as silently as it had arrived, leaving only the sound of the wind in the trees. By dawn, the hills were calm once more. The tracks lay empty, hidden beneath moss and weeds, and the forest stood still as though nothing had happened. Yet a faint scent of iron lingered in the air, and the silence seemed heavier than before. In the town, the old folk would shake their heads, warning the young never to wander near the old railway on that cursed night. For the ghost train would always return, its endless journey never finished, its passengers forever waiting for one more soul to join them.